I think one of the hardest places on the spiritual path is when you're doing your meditation practice, you're doing your healing work, you're doing everything you've been taught to do, and you're still not getting the change or the traction on the healing of the suffering and the internal change and development into that person, more of that person you knew you could be, or contacting more of that source within that you've fucking read is there. You are doing all the things. You're showing up to your cushion, you're showing up to a therapy couch, you're showing up to the retreat, you're putting in the hours of introspection, work, and meditation, and things are not changing. Now, in my own journey, and what I can see for others is the piece holding this in place, holding the lack of change and transformation in place, would be that even our meditation practices, even our healing practices, are held within this confining bubble of our unconscious tendencies. So, what we need to do to get free of that, where there is to see within our unconscious, there's a confining sphere that we can't operate outside of because we don't know it's there and we haven't seen it clearly yet. So, seeing that confining sphere of unconscious tendencies, perhaps accumulated over lifetimes. If that's not your cup of tea, just say unconscious tendencies. We all have it. And we come to this spiritual practice, this discipline, this meditation cushion to get free, to get more liberated. And man, is it soul crushing to show up and not feel that progress. So, what needs to shift is our capacity for insight into our unconscious. Because again, we are here, our meditation practice is trying to get us free. And that's all held within a larger sphere called our vasanas, our tendencies over lifetime. So that spiritual discipline, that spiritual tradition, that breath awareness practice, all of it, until it's not, is going to be held within a confining unconscious pattern. So, how do we move this pattern as it pertains to your meditation practice? What we need to do is become still. And as we become stiller, we're going to go spelunking. We're going down into that cave deeper and deeper and deeper until we can see the unconscious and the unconscious tendency holding and confining us. This is just like a muscle. This is just like a skill. We can do it. We do need to break through some layers inside of ourselves, but it is a skill that can be trained. It is a skill of insight into what is actually occurring. We need to see that unconscious tendency as clearly as possible. That's the diagnostic piece. Now, we also, it's not enough just to see it and, that's not going to free us from it. To free us from it, it's stored at the level of vibration. It's a bunch of memories, associated emotions, and clusters of energy throughout this very complex, holographically overlapping energy system that we have throughout lifetimes that holds who we are. It needs to be, that tendency needs to be restructured in that energy system at that depth to get traction on moving it out of the way. Once you can tolerate enough discomfort of that being uprooted, off gas, diffused out of you, then is hoping that something more free, more of that true nature, a tendency comes online or emerges in place of what was previously just autopiloting your meditation, mindfulness, or healing practice. Something more genuine, more free, more wise comes online in place. So we got to make room for it and then experience it. So if you have stagnated, if you have plateaued, it, in my opinion, is a lack of insight into what is actually occurring. And then from there, we need that power within our healing practice to clear what we have become aware of inside of us. And we want enough depth, we want enough clearing that something new starts to emerge. So I'm going to drop my contact info below. If you have any questions, please do. Don't hesitate to reach out. Let's pop those bubbles of unconscious tendency and keep our trajectory moving on the spiritual path, meditative path, whatever that discipline is for you. We can find those bubbles. It doesn't matter. Okay, that's it for now.